So guys, before we get started, don't forget we do have that amazing discount code thanks to Tier 0 Games going on right now. And all you have to do is put in ZWGames5 to get 5% discount on your total order at tier0games.com. The links will be in the description below. What's up YouTube, Dave from Zephyr Games. We're here with Rob's first place Crusadia deck profile. So this one locals this weekend, and as you know, Crusadias are quite a nice little underrated deck. They have a lot of power going first for a bit of protection, and a lot even more so power going second for OTK plays. Now, obviously, the biggest issue with them is they can get interrupted quite a lot, and be able to pull off their entire infects, you need anywhere from, with protection, probably 2 to 3 cards just to get full-on protection all the way through. But if you manage to do that, they will game you. So without further ado, I'm going to take you through the profile, show you everything that Rob's got, and then we'll explain why he's got certain things that don't make sense or are a little bit techy as well. So, of course, what does make sense is triple Maximus. Of course, straightforward and simple on that one. Again, triple Arborea, triple Leonis, and triple Draco, all kind of the exact kind of, you know, they're staples. Double Reclusia. Now, of course, this is all for the Crusadia monsters. Reclusia is the one you want less of, but you still need to pretty much maximize as many Crusadias as you can to, you know, extend your board and link climb in the sense. Then, of course, because it is a going second deck, you've got triple Pankratops to deal with any kind of back row hate. So, like your Imperial Orders, Imperial Iron Walls, not that Iron Walls are that much of an issue, but any kind of floodgates or troublesome monsters that might stop you in your tracks. Pankratops is a nice free summon to get rid of. On top of that, if you do put it below and you still have the way to make a link monster, again, it gives you a nice 2600 boost. Now, one of the techs that Rob was playing was TG Warwolf. Now, this comes into effect when you see the extra deck, because he does place the 1 Sparfer, which is a very, very nice tech. I asked him to explain it to me and how it kind of worked. So this one is, when a level 4 or lower monster or monsters is special summoned except during a damage step, you special summon this card from your hand. Once per turn during the end phase, if this card is in the graveyard because it was destroyed on the field and sent this turn, you can add 1 TG monster from your deck to your hand except itself. So the whole idea is you go Sparfer, special summon your Maximus below it, or pretty much any of your Crusadia monsters. Maximus is the best one to have. And then what you would do is you would use Sparfer's effect to move Maximus here, special summon in Werewolf first, sorry. Then use Sparfer's effect to move Maximus there, link these guys together and go into Ecomax, and then that gives Ecomax the double damage. So that's quite nice. Basically a bait and switch or a shift switch, just to make sure you've got the double damage play. So that's a nice little kind of extra engine that he plays in the deck. Of course, you can play any other kind of engine like the, I believe it's Lance, Crown, anything that gives you an additional special summon in a zone, a link monster points to. For the hand traps, relatively budget, you can put more money into it if you want, and obviously 2 Ghost Ogre, 2 Veilers. If you've got Drolls, you've got Ashes, anything that can slow your opponent down for you to hit that OTK next turn is obviously going to be a great choice to add. And then to finish off the monsters, of course, you've got the Kaijus. Kaijus are very, very important in this deck. Now, I believe he just doesn't have a Gamma Seal, so if you do have a Gamma Seal, you can probably replace it for these 2 or put a Gamma Seal instead. You want to be giving yourself the most powerful ones, but then 9 times out of 10, if you do give your opponent a powerful one as well, put this in a zone that Crusadia will eventually point to. You're gaining the 3k off of this power play, or vice versa, and you're still going to crash in through for game, so it does give a very, very nice power play. And then, of course, if you open these up, you can get rid of any troublesome monsters that might be, you know, flooding your opponent's board or stopping you going into your plays. So that's it for the monster lineup. For the spells, again, straightforward. Triple Call by the Grave. You want your effects to go off as much as possible, which is why you play Triple Call by the Grave, double Crusadia Power. You can play Power at 3, but it can brick as well. You just want to make sure your effects go off without affecting the rest of your deck. Double Instant Fusion. Now this is again to deal with hand traps. So you've got Thousand Eyes and you've got the Millennium Eyes to kind of help push your plays further forward that way. There's a lot of one-offs. You've got the one Interrupted Kaiju Slumber, gives your opponent a Kaiju, gives you a monster on board for free, and of course resets their board state. Pinpoint Landing, you are special summoning 1 monster at a time, so if you do get this, this can sometimes draw you into the Crusadia monster you need to extend your board, or give you a better one to extend your board and get even more advantage on your opponent. Field Spell, if your opponent has obviously loads of monsters, this can just allow your Crusadia Ecomax to attack all their monsters once each, and you're going to be doing either piercing damage, double damage, any type of damage to your opponent. So very, very good touch on that one. Rhoda to search you out your, not your Ecomax, because believe it or not, Ecomax is actually a psychic, but it does search you out your Arborea. If you want to, you can play some synchros, because Arborea is a tuner as well. Then of course you've got Monster Reborn, quite straightforward and staple in this one. And then the drones. When drones are at free, this was very, very good for the deck because you get given an extra free monster. You can turn it into a Kagari. Kagari brings this back, and then you can play even further forward and extend your board where best you can. It's still very, very powerful at 1 in this deck and can actually win you a lot of games like it did for Rob today. Then, of course, for the extra deck, we'll start with Link Monsters. You got your 2 Ecomax, your 2 Regulex, the 1 Sparfer. So this is an interesting one. This is the most recent one we got that came out in Soul Fusion. So again, gains attack to the original, equal to the original attack of a monster this card points to. A monster this card points to cannot attack once per turn. If an effect monster is special summoned to a zone this card points to, except during the damage step, you can target 1 monster in either player's main monster zone, except this card, and move it to another main monster zone on its controller's field. So that is how, of course, you move your Ecomax around. Double Magius gets the whole engine started. You've got your Hayate to come off your drones, that gets you to attack directly, or of course it can come off the Kagari. Kagari, of course, you bring back the drones, gets you an instant Link 2. Trisbane to deal with the back row, Topological Bomber Dragon, Link Karibo. Link Karibo can come off, of course, Thousand Eyes Restrict and your Millennium Eyes Restrict. And as a synchro option with your Arborea, you do play the 1 Flame, Psyframe Lord Zeta. You can play any level 7 you want. You can play around with it and play other different levels because you've got 3s, 4s, so you can go for 6s if you want to. But the 7 is probably the most recent you'll go to. And this is nice because what you can do is you can bounce it out, banish one of your opponent's special summon monsters, bring it back to a different zone, which could obviously be pointing with your Ecomax or anything like that. That on top of, with that, gives Ecomax an extra 2500, and this can deal with any issues that your opponent might bring out of special summon monsters. You just go, cool, we're going to bring out this special summon monster. You go, excellent, change Zeta, Zeta banishes, deals with one of their issues, and again, frees you up to push your plays further forward for that elusive OTK, or not elusive OTK, sorry, very, very consistent and powerful OTK with this deck. So I thoroughly like Crusaders. They aren't getting exact like direct support, but I believe we get a Link 4, if I remember rightly, and I think it's the Orcus get the one where you just use a Link monster. So you can mess around with Crusadia and Orcus if you want to. There's a lot of plays around with this deck, and you know, you've got to love the lore behind this deck as well. The whole World Chalice, World Chalice, Mech Knights, Nightmares, the whole 9 yards that kind of spread over through the Crusaders and of course into the Orcus as well. It's a nice little arc that's going on, and I think it wraps up in Neostorm. We might get more support, we just don't know as of yet, or more to the story or lore of the Yu-Gi-Oh! Of this deck. Anyway, that is it for the deck profile. Well done to Rob today for winning the locals with this. Again, I think Crusaders have a nice little they're a nice undercard deck, not too hard to build. I think the Ecomax have started to creep up in price because people have been using it as generic touch in the deck, but it's still very, very good if you can get hold of them to use them and go with that. I love the deck, it's very, very fun to play around with, and it makes me want to pick my own one back up and, you know, play around with that. But for now, thanks for watching. Don't forget to like, comment, subscribe, share, and as always, guys,
happy dueling!
What's up YouTube, Dad here from Zephyr Wargames. Thanks for watching that video. If you liked it, please hit that big thumbs up button in the bottom corner as well. And don't forget to hit the big red subscribe button so you don't miss out on anything. Make sure you click that notification bell as well so you know every time one of our new videos goes up. Throughout the whole year of 2019, we're going to have more deck profiles, duels, and of course pack openings for you guys to watch and enjoy the entire year round. So stay tuned for more, and as always guys, happy dueling.